Hi, my name is Silantro, and this is the second episode of Counterlings. And Counterlings are mini counters to certain characters and moves using Xiaoyu. Now, for your first counterling this episode, it's going to be Panda and Kuma. I will only be discussing one move, and that's going to be B1. Now, as you can see, B1 is plus 13 on block, but if they transition to HBS, they will be at plus 15. Just remember that HBS or Hunting Bear stance is a high crush stance, so if you try to punish it with a jab, it will whiff. Right? Or if you're not using Xiaoyu, then remember that it will high crush the minute the Panda or the Kuma transitions to HBS. So without transitioning, it's going to be plus 13. With transitioning, it's going to be 15. If you can see that the bear transitions to HBS, then you can try to punish it with B1 plus 2 if you want. But if you really want to option select this one, then you could go for either your F1 plus 2, which is a mid, or your B41 if you want. So if we turn on both and we use either F1 plus 2 or B41, it will be guaranteed that you will hit any of those moves. Now that's for F1 plus 2. And there goes your B41. Now that's it for your first counterling. Now the next counterling would be Lars. So if you manage to block his while standing 2 and he goes to silent entry, which is F2 neutral forward, then you can counter all of his options with down 2 or what we call the dick jab. So I'll show it to you. This will also work when he transitions from silent entry to dynamic entry. And also if he transitions from silent entry to limited entry. The power crush option is a high, so if you dick jab and you didn't do anything, then you will have some chip damage, but you will be safe because you will have so much pushback. But if you managed to hold down your down 2 a little bit more, then you could go for your while standing 2 hold and it will become a launch punish. Right? So that's gonna be your counterling for Lars. Next counterling would be Jack 8. So this will work as long as the Jack is not using his F1 alone. But if he uses any F1 option, what I want you to do is once the F1 ends, duck while standing 2 hold. Okay, I'll show it to you why. For the 2 moves, if you didn't manage to crouch, then you could go for your power crush. I won't recommend doing the parry because they have different timings. So this is the first one. And this is the second one. And that's gonna be your third counterling. Next counterling would be a Yoshimitsu. This will only work if you block it. When the Yoshimitsu is doing his DB3s, you can't do anything, right? So you're kind of jailed or you're stuck in that position of blocking. So for example, the Yoshimitsu is doing the DB3 and I'm blocking it. You will see that I can't do anything. I will be mashing a button and then you will see that it won't come out or it won't be a counter hit. Right? While the spinning kicks are ongoing, you can still mash and it won't be a counter hit. Now what I want you to do is to mash your 2 while you are blocking it. Okay? Don't be afraid, just mash your 2. What will happen is it will be plus 19 on block, so your while standing 2 will hit. This will work with any option that he will do after it. So if he decides to not continue the spin, he will get hit by while standing 2. It won't be a launcher, but it's a hit. So this is the first one. Yoshimitsu will only do 2 DB3s, and then I will mash 2. until it gets released. Right? It's a punish. Now the next one would be the DB3, 3, and 4. What will happen here is when you block the 2 DB3s and he decides to go for the 4, like I said earlier, mash your 2. It will be a counter hit. So let's try more DB3s and then it will end with the 4. There you go. Now the next one would be if Yoshimitsu will transition to a stance. What the while standing 2 will do is it will float it. Right? Now if the Yoshimitsu ends it, he will get floated. That's basically the counter to Yoshimitsu's CB3 as long as you block it. Okay? Mash your 2. Now the next one would be Kazuya, and this is a suggestion from Trichosilas from my comment section from the first Counterlings. If you want to see the first Counterlings, then it's going to be in the card above. So it's going to be this string. If you block the low, then you could go for your while standing 2. If he decides to go for the low only, then he will be at -14 and you can still do your while standing 2. If he decides to continue the string and you block the third hit, then it will be a counter hit. There you go. So lastly would be Paul, and we will be discussing his FF3 options. Now the counter to all of this is your DF1. Now if he does FF3, he will be at +17. It will be a punish. Now if you know this, then you could go for a B1+2 if you want. But as much as possible, we want to cover all options so that you won't get hit by any follow-up. Next, if he does the 2 hits, he will be at +16. It will still be a punish. Now if you know this, go for a B1+2 again if you want. Now this is the problem. With the follow-ups, you can still B1+2 some moves, but you will get hit. Since DF1 is a high crush, you can dodge that and not get counter hit or launched. This is going to be the low option. So if you still do your DF1, Paul will be interrupted. Now the last one looks like a high. We can still use our DF1. And he will get interrupted. Because it's +14 on block, then you could go for your standing 3 as a launch punish if you're used to Paul. So again, use your DF1 to counter every option that Paul has. Now that's going to be the second episode of Counterlings. If you didn't see the character that you suggested with the first Counterlings, then that means that I haven't found anything yet. So if you want to share any counter to a specific character, then please share it down below, and of course I will credit you when I am going to do another Counterlings video. So thank you guys for watching and see you in the next Counterlings video. Bye!